When I groom dogs, there's just maintenance grooming. And some of the things I recommend, everybody bathes their dogs, and everybody always asks first thing, how often do you bathe? And that really depends on how often you brush your dog, okay? So the more you brush, the less often you have to bathe. Obviously, if they're smelly, then you want to bathe them more often. If they're in the house, most people bathe more often. Types of shampoos I recommend. Fresh and Clean is a just general all-purpose cleaning shampoo. So it just gets their coats really nice and clean, and it smells pretty good. You can get it in any of the pet specialty stores. Most of the vets carry it, so it doesn't matter. The key to long-haired dogs, though, is you get them really wet, deep down to the skin. You work in the shampoo. Then you rinse them and you rework a second wash of shampoo in. And then, if you're worried about any kind of skin problems, you can use like an oatmeal soap. Let them sit 3 to 5 minutes with the shampoo on them in a medicated soap. And that helps get down and gets the skin. And just do little puppy massages while they're sitting in the bathtub. Then the key to the long-haired dogs is rinse them. Get them rinsed, rinse. Lukewarm water. You don't want hot water because remember the dog's temperatures are higher than yours. You don't want real cold water because you don't want to shock their systems either, especially in older dogs. So just something that's lukewarm, the water. For as long as you spend bathing them with soap, you spend twice as long rinsing them.
Did you tell them to make sure they brush all the mats out before they even bathe?
No.
That's really important because once you wet that coat, those mats are going to get tighter. So always make sure you get all your mats out.
When you start brushing dogs,
what?
The undercoat.
During the year when they're not shedding, it's easier. During the year when they are shedding, it's harder.
Well,
do they ever not shed?
Professional groomers.
Yeah, they do.
Do you brush your undercoat out?
Before you bathe, anytime before you start a bathing regimen with your dogs, anytime you bathe, you always brush the dog through first, always. Because if you don't, exactly what Mom said is they will mat. So the wet hair mats faster than dry hair. So yeah, you always brush. You should get in a habit of long hair coated dogs to brush them at least at the minimum once a week. Preferably, take a brush over them at least, once a day for even a few minutes. With just general grooming. That also helps cut down on shedding in your house. Whoops. What are you doing coming off my table? She says, no, I'm not sitting up here. She has a brush out. I use 2 different types of brushes. I use what's called a slicker brush. Okay? And what you do, this helps get a lot of that undercoat out. So, and when you brush a dog, you don't try to brush the whole dog over. You start in sections and move farther back, or from up and farther down. So that you can take it all through the whole coat, but you're not really getting down deep. So I would take her and I would just start at the top of her head and I brush against the layer of the fur. So instead of brushing back and make them smooth, you brush up to help get a lot of that undercoat out.
And you only use this brush with a dry coat. You never use,
Yeah, slicker brushes are for dry coats.
It cleans their coat.
In the house of Pola, she doesn't have a lot of loose undercoat. She's got a lot of undercoat, but not a lot of loose undercoat. You're always going to get
rake brushes.
Rakes. If you have a dog and I have a rake with me.
Or I meant slicker, Alicia. I'm sorry. Don't some of the slicker brushes have prongs that are angled in a direction that aren't good for collies, or no?
Well,
not slickers.
Okay.
Not this. This is the best you can get, in my opinion.
Okay.
We get it at the dog shows. If you ever goes to a dog show.
A shedding rake is like that. When they come in all different sizes, they have different handles, but that's a shedding rake. And shedding rakes what they're meant to do is to help you easily pull out the undercoat. And you can use that when the dogs start letting loose of fur. Generally late summer, early fall. That is how the undercoat comes out. Because remember, collies they're double coated. They have the undercoat and then they have their outer coat, the regular fur. So when you brush through. Now, in this case, with a shedding rake, I do go ahead and I brush them kind of both directions.
Look at the tries. They're all.
Yeah.
You know, if you came at them with the brush, they would
scatter. Yeah. Okay. Where collies tend to get a lot of mats is right here in the feathering. Okay. Underneath, right under the chest, back in the tail, back in the. Bear. I have like this food. I have food in my pocket. That's why. Back in the pants. Back in here. And if they're sloppy dogs, I have a couple of those at home. They get it right underneath their chin. So that's a place to work. So for when they're going through a shedding period, absolutely, the shedding rates are great. Kathy,
yeah.
Do you have your?
I'll go get it.
Ours is sorry, it's been used a lot.
Mine is ancient, but I love it. So you go through, and you do want to get that undercoat out, especially if you want a dog to start grooming new coat. She's got, I don't know if you can see, now right in front, she's got some hair that's a little bit packed, and it's coming out. That's loose undercoat.
Put him up there.
But the thing you have to remember about shedding rakes, they will break the fur off too. So when you do it, you don't dig down in and just yank it out because you're going to break the long fur off. You're going to sit there, and again, you're going to work sections, if you can tell. So I start, and then you just work small sections back. Kathy will show you how to use it.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't know.
Okay.
And I just use a clipper to do my undercoat. She always uses that.
Okay.
And as I was doing, I just take.
And Kathy came up with this new thing.
I've seen this. It's called the Furminator.
Oh yeah.
I got it at PetSmart. It's about $60, but 30 days you don't like it, you take it back. So I thought I'd try it. And what they say on this one is to, instead of going against the coat, go with the coat.
She actually, I use that on her and she liked that.
See how it comes out?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And it won't break the
It
show coat?
does not seem to break the show coat.
So there's a lot of different types of rakes to get undercoat out.
Yeah.
You guys all want groom?
You'll lay down. I'm tired.
She says, oh, this is not good for an grooming table.
Yeah. I had one in my pocket, I forgot.
So, right in her front, take a section, groom it out.
Hey bud, you want them to brush you?
I switched to
That dog is really good.
I was going to say, put him up there for a minute.
Yeah.
He's the only one
so slickers.
Yeah, I don't know.
Slickers
can't
always
have
look like
brushes.
this.
He's the only one I ever had that
And when you do the front, pick up the hair, the long hair, and scrim downwards so that you're getting a section at a time. That gets down deep.
Now, they put a muzzle on him and tie his head up to it. Way up, you know?
She says,
That's the only
why
way.
did I get volunteered for this?
Because we couldn't find Rico at that moment in time.
Says, Mom, what are you doing? What are you thinking?
And I knew she wouldn't be snarly.
Right in here,
Blade.
where
I
her
don't think
collar.
he did.
Now, for everybody who wears flat collars,
Like-
always, or buckle collars, you always watch right around that area too, because they tend to get packed down in there. That fur does. So you want to brush around it and underneath it, or even take the collar off.
What do you do with one that doesn't want to be brushed?
Put him in put him in a noose.
We have an arm to the table. You can get arms for the tables. I always groom them most of the time. A lot of times I sit on the floor with them when I'm watching the news at night and brush them.
Not
I was
him.
his foster for 5 months. I put a muzzle on him and he would still.
There
so
are
bad he
collies
hates it.
who they hate it.
He
Totally
does.
hate
He
it.
hates
You just, if they're really, really bitey, go ahead and put them in a soft muzzle, and they have to be brushed. They're long-coated dogs, or else they're glued to mat.
Yep.
So they
That's
have
what
to be
I
brushed.
did with him when I had him, and he would.
I mean, he turns around.
Oh yeah,
He's
I
going to
had-
bite you.
I had one for birth, and to the day he died, he hated being brushed.
But he's a
Hated
sweet
it. I have
godmother
some that
than
dislike it, but he hated it.